Hi class, welcome to Module 5. Okay, this is a milestone week. Yes, 2 milestones, 2 weeks in a row, week 4 and week 5. During week 4, we look at some of the traditional printed pieces designers should consider for inclusion in their professional branding package. And we talked about the business card, the letterhead, and then we introduced the leave behind piece. I also want to talk about the envelope. Okay, so the envelope's important because it's part of your branding package. So all of your correspondence, if you're mailing it, should go in your design envelope. So imagine sending off some information, a letter to a potential employer saying, I'm interested in a job. I'd like to submit my portfolio for review, etc. So that comes it comes on a designed letterhead in a designed envelope, all pointing to your branding. Okay, then the cover letter, the resume, all go on the letterhead, right? Then eventually, when you send a thank you note, a week after the interview or a week after the correspondence, the thank you note would be designed on your, yes, you guessed it, on your letterhead, reinforcing branding all the way, guys. Punch in that brand into the recipient's mind so they don't forget you. It's critical. Okay, so again, I want to talk about the envelope because we haven't really talked much about the envelope. So a lot of students have taken the liberty of designing their envelope. It's a number 10 envelope, guys. It's a business envelope, not a standard envelope. Okay, so you design a number 10 envelope and you include that in your branding package, right? So your immediate branding package would have your your logo, your business card, your letterhead, your envelope, and your leave behind piece. Okay, that's really important stuff, guys. All right, so in week 5, we're going to continue working on the leave behind piece. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a second. But we've got some examples here. I want to talk about this example as well as these examples. And then we'll get into what else is due this week. I want to talk a little bit about the leave behind. So listen, guys, I think it's pretty apparent at this point that the leave behind should be as creative and unique as possible. Now, I show this example here, and a lot of you have pointed interest in creating a leave behind piece that's like a mini portfolio or a mini set of cards showing the work in your portfolio. Okay, I want to talk about that. Is that the most feasible way to go? All right, think about this. I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying think about this. You've already presented your portfolio. A leave behind piece is something that you leave after the interview or you send after the hiring professional has reviewed your portfolio online. And you may send them the leave behind piece. Basically, what it is, it's saying, hey, just want to remind you, this is me. Here's a little something to remind you of me and something that will allow you to think of me as you're making your decisions moving forward. Follow me. Okay, so a little kind of set of cards just showing the work in your portfolio. Well, they've already seen the work in your portfolio. So is this the most feasible way to go? It certainly is perfectly acceptable, but is it the most creative and most expeditious way to reinforce your branding with that hiring professional? And the only thing I'm asking you is to think in terms of creativity, okay? As a professional graphic designer that runs a studio, I receive leave behind packages all the time. I find the most useful leave behind packages not to be a recap of the portfolio, but, and again, it's perfectly fine if you want to go in that route. I'm just getting you to think a little bit deeper here, trying to get you to think a little bit deeper, I should say. So I find the most useful leave behind packages as something that I can use. Okay, so for example, a little kit, a little box that has a pen, a mechanical pencil, and a kneaded eraser in it, and the pen and pencil are branded with the logo and the designer's name, and the kneaded eraser has a little wrap around it with the same thing. Right? And then the box itself has the designer's logo. Right? So I open it and I go, oh, this is great, something I can use. Right? I've had a couple of the more creative approaches I've seen personally as a principal in a design studio. I receive leave behind packages on a regular basis. I receive a lot of these small index card size reminders of the work in the portfolio. And again, I've already seen the portfolio, so that usually is something that I set aside. Some of the most interesting that come to mind immediately, leave behind packages are, I received a toilet paper roll. It came in a little box. It had the designer's logo on it, and uh, um, I think the tagline was just a little something to remind you of me as you start your day, or something like that. It had, and then it had the wrap around the toilet paper with the designer's logo and the branding. It was in a box. It was beautifully packaged. And it's something I used, right? Then I had another one. It was a spice rack. This particular designer's last name was Spicer. So they spent a little spice rack, a little mini spice rack this big. Each little bottle had the designer's logo on it. Now, this was something that was purchased as a mini spice rack that designer had taken the labels off and replaced them with their own labels. So the designer's name is Spicer. I think that something was effective design to spice up your day, or something like that. And it was a little spice rack, right? And then the other one I received was a little package. I think there were 3 little mini hot sauce bottles, and the hot sauce bottles had the labels adhered to them, adhesive labels stuck right to the hot sauce, and it had the designer's logo and something about hot design or something like that, right? So let your imagination go. That's the point I'm trying to make, is get as creative as possible. Okay, you want to use this opportunity to reinforce in the memory of the person that's involved in hiring. You want to reinforce you want to stick it to them. This is me, this is my branding. Here's a little idea of my creativity. Have a nice day, right? So that is really, really important. For those of you who have elected to go ahead and do maybe just a simple little mini portfolio or something, think about it. Just think about it. As I said, you're perfectly fine moving in that direction if that is what you would like, but really think about pushing this. Okay, so back to the task at hand. What do we have going on this week? Okay, again, milestone week. Yes, following elements are due this week. 5-1 discussion is a checkpoint for the website. That's optional, but in my experience, a lot of students do participate in this. It is optional though, so note that. 5-2, milestone 3. Project 1, milestone 3, leave behind piece to complete the assignment. Review it. There's the rubric, right? And this is the rough of your leave behind piece. And then we have 5-3, working to incorporate feedback. So again, take a look at that. Learning objectives, design a leave behind piece that expresses artistic identity, and I should say, and reinforces the designer's creativity. Create a leave behind piece by integrating principles of design, constructively by using advanced tools and techniques. Yes, 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 indeed. Okay, module 5, plan in advance, read the textbook, review the optional. I don't have to go through that. That's self-explanatory. Reading a resource is pretty important, guy. Pretty important. Let's get in there and look at that. Okay, so again, welcome to Module 5. Any questions, comments, concerns, clarifications, please let me know. I'll be glad to provide anything in that regard. Guys, if you have questions, get with me. You guys that have been contacting me know you're not waiting for a response from me. Forget the 24-hour turnaround time. Quite often I get back to you most often I get back to you within a matter of hours, if not a few hours. And that is something that you can count on. So any questions at all, please let me know, and we'll address those immediately. All right, guys, again, welcome to Module 5. I'll see you guys in class. Thank you very much.